Hey, it's surfing. Victorian report, Friday, 17th of July, 2026. Victoria has settled into one of the better winter surfing patterns we've seen this month. A high pressure system is now established over the Tasman Sea, allowing lighter northwesterly winds, while the recent Southern Ocean groundswell slowly eases. The result is clean conditions across much of the state, with quality surf available from Torquay through to Phillip Island. It's absolutely pumping out there. Today is shaping as the best all-round surf day of the week, combining favourable winds, long period swell, and improving ocean conditions. Statewide lookout, primary swell, southwesterly ground swell, period, approximately 13 to 15 seconds on exposed coasts. Wind, northwesterly, 10 to 15 knots, easing through the afternoon. Sea state below 1 metre across most Victorian waters. Weather partly cloudy with cool winter temperatures. The offshore component in the wind is the biggest improvement. Surface quality should be significantly cleaner than earlier this week, particularly across the Surf Coast and Mornington Peninsula area. Surf Coast and Torquay conditions. The Surf Coast remains the standout destination. Long period southwest swell continues to wrap into the reefs, producing clean, lined up surf with excellent shape. Expected surf, Bells Beach 3 to 5 foot, Winkipop 3 to 5 foot, Janjuk Reefs 3 to 4 foot, Torquay Point, Cosy Corner 2 to 3 foot, open beaches west of Bells 5 to 7 feet. The swell has eased slightly but retains enough period to generate solid set waves on exposed reefs. Northwesterly winds are offshore and should remain light through most of the morning before easing further during the afternoon. Best session, sunrise until late morning, clean offshore faces and a mid-morning rising tide should produce excellent reef conditions. Hazards, although smaller than earlier in the week, the long period swell still produces wide clean-up sets. Rock shelves remain slippery and sweep remains noticeable around Bells and Winkipop. Surf Coast rating for today is a 9 out of 10. Moving on to Mornington Peninsula. Mornington receives the full energy of today's southwest groundswell, but unlike earlier this week, the wind is now working with the swell rather than against it. Expected surf, Gunnamatta 5 to 7 feet, St Andrews 5 to 6 feet, Rye Back Beach 4 to 6 feet, Portsea Back Beach 6 to 8 feet, Flinders 3 to 5 feet. Northwesterly wind is offshore for most of the peninsula's open beaches, creating clean walls and much better organisation than the previous few days. The long period swell continues to favour beaches with deep water exposure. Best session, early morning through lunchtime. Conditions should remain excellent while winds stay light. Hazards, powerful rips remain active around Gunnamatta and Portsea. Today's cleaner conditions may disguise the amount of moving water beneath the surface, so take care whilst out there. Intermediate surfers should continue choosing protected banks. Mornington's rating for today is an 8.5 out of 10. Phillip Island and the Bass Coast. Phillip Island enjoys one of its better winter setups today. Expected surf, Woolamai 4 to 6 feet, Forest Caves 3 to 4 feet, Smiths Beach 2 to 4 feet, Surfers Point 2 to 3 feet, YCW 1 to 2 feet, Cat Bay 1 to 2 feet. The northwesterly wind is cross offshore to offshore for many of the island's better known breaks, creating clean conditions while the groundswell still carries plenty of energy. Bass Coast beaches around Kilcunda remain larger but less organised than the protected island options. Best session, first light until midday. The afternoon should remain surfable as winds stay relatively light. Hazards are deep gutters at Woolamai continue producing strong sweep despite cleaner faces. Incoming sets remain considerably larger than average waves. And the Phillip Island rating for today is an 8 out of 10. Now moving on to East Gippsland. East Gippsland finally settles after a windy week. The Bureau forecasts westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas below 1 metre, southerly swell 1 to 1.5 metres increasing to 2 metres in the far east. Expected surf, Lakes Entrance 1 to 2 feet, 90 Mile Beach 2 to 3 feet, Cape Conran 3 to 4 feet, Malakuta District 3 to 5 feet. Conditions improve steadily throughout the day as winds remain light. Best session late morning through afternoon. Hazards, bar entrances remain hazardous despite the smaller swell. And East Gippsland's rating for today is a 6 out of 10. Today's broad tidal pattern across southern Victoria is as follows. Surf coast, early morning low, midday high, evening low. Mornington Peninsula, similar ocean timing with high tide around early afternoon. Phillip Island, Western Port, morning low, early afternoon high, evening low. East Gippsland, morning high, mid-afternoon low, evening high. The incoming morning tide should improve shape across most reefs and beach breaks before the afternoon drop exposes more banks and reef. The weekend outlook. Saturday, another excellent winter day. Light northwest winds. Southwest swell easing slightly. Surf coast 3 to 4 feet. Surf coast 3 to 4 feet on Saturday. Mornington 4 to 6 feet. Mornington 4 to 6 feet. Woolamaya 4 to 5 foot. East Gippsland 2 to 3 foot. Clean conditions continue statewide. Rating 8 out of 10 for Saturday. Sunday, the swell continues to ease while high pressure maintains generally light winds. Surf coast 2 to 4 foot, Mornington 3 to 5 foot, Phillip Island 3 to 4 foot, East Gippsland 1 to 2 foot. Morning sessions remain the best option before local sea breeze develops on Sunday. The rating will be 7 out of 10. Monday, residual swell dominates. The surf coast becomes smaller whilst exposed beaches continue producing rideable surf. Mornington and Phillip Island remain the pick for surfers chasing more size. Rating 6 out of 10. Tuesday, forecast confidence decreases as the next southern ocean frontal system begins approaching Western Victoria. Expect increasing cloud and strengthening winds later in the day, with the potential of a fresh swell building across the western coastline first. Tuesday's rating is a 5 out of 10. Wednesday, a developing frontal pattern may deliver fresh swell to the surf coast and Western Victoria first before reaching central and eastern beaches. Confidence remains moderate at this stage. Approximate sea temperatures across Victoria today are surf coast 14 degrees Celsius, Mornington 14 degrees Celsius, Phillip Island 14 degrees Celsius, East Gippsland 13 to 14 degrees Celsius. A sealed 4-3 wetsuit remains ideal, with boots recommended for longer sessions and reef breaks. So now we've got the regional comparison. Surf coast quality today is 5 stars. Dawn, late morning is the best time. Mornington Peninsula is 4 stars. Early morning and lunch is the best time. Phillip Island, 4 stars as well. Sunrise to midday for the best time. East Gippsland, 3 stars, late morning to afternoon. So Friday is the standout surf day of the forecast period. The combination of easing long period southwest groundswell and light northwesterly winds delivers clean, high quality surf across much of Victoria. Best overall surf coast reefs around Bells, Winkipop and Torquay. Best open beaches Gunnedah, St Andrews and Woolamai. Best option for intermediate surfers, Torquay's protected reefs and the more sheltered Phillip Island breaks. Best option for beginners, sheltered Torquay beaches and protected western port locations. The weekend remains very inviting with slightly smaller surf but continued clean conditions under stable high pressure. The next significant change is not expected until early next week as another Southern Ocean system begins to influence Western Victoria. Once again, thanks for tuning in today, Friday, 17th of July, here at Hey Hey It's Surfing, Victorian report. If you're not in the water already, just wait for that tide to rise. And enjoy what's kicking around. Leave me a comment if you got any suggestions. I'll come down and take some photos or video of you. Shoot me a DM on Instagram if you want to keep it hush hush. I'm out of the water for some period of time, so if you've got this far in the report and you're listening to what I'm talking about, shoot me a DM. Keep it quiet. I'll come down, shoot some photos and video, and or leave a comment. Thanks for tuning in.